Baby, I'm
Not
gonna
over
need you
here.
in 2024. I'm gonna need you to step this up. When it's your turn to host the RuPaul situation, I need you to
We need an
boom.
intro.
We need
We
an
need an
intro.
intro.
We need something. You can't just hit the button, Evie.
You can't. No, no, ma'am.
Well, we
No,
live here,
God.
so it don't even. I don't.
And we live.
We
Oh,
already.
you didn't even tell us that we was live.
All
You
right.
didn't
That's
be
I
that's what
rude.
I'm
literally
talking about
said
right
I'm
there.
eating the.
That's what I'm talking about right there. You can't in
That's
2024.
why
I
we
need
need
you to
an
do that.
intro. That right there.
I bought a vlogging
You could have
camera. I
even done
have
the
a
20-second
tripod.
countdown that El Teddy hates. You could have done the 20-second countdown, Abby.
Oh,
You know, StreamYard does have a 30-second, like,
Something.
I made my own countdown. I
oh
just
dear
wanted to
God.
do
So
it.
How,
where is it?
what countdown
Where
did
is
you
it?
make? You didn't even sing. You could have even sang us a little ditty.
Nah, I wasn't finna sing for you niggas, but okay.
Wow.
Can I get a hoodie?
Hold on. Well, you see how ass backwards
Wait
we
a
are?
minute. So hold on. Hold
I'm
on.
so
You
mad
wait.
that you already had that.
You wait
And
till
you
we was
didn't put that
finished
up.
talking.
I've
Then
had
you
that.
hit the and then you don't even let it play for the whole minute.
Right. We were prepared for the whole 60 seconds. Oh, I'm so mad at that. So bad.
I'm gonna
El
go on
Teddy,
Canva and make me
El
a
Teddy, it's ghetto over in Abby house.
Real ghetto.
It's
See, in her
ghetto.
room, my room, we have, some things
listen.
over in my
I'm
room.
trying to do
In
better.
her room,
I
it's just the
got
ghetto.
light. I got
Listen,
lighting.
you know why that is, really be?
I got
Because her
lighting all the
room,
way through the room. I can
her
take.
room is right over there by the staircase that we go upstairs. So everybody, all the traffic come by that room. My room is way off in the corner. So, you don't have all that in the corner.
It's just ghetto over here.
But the
Nay,
ghetto.
I am listen, you don't get to call me Bully B. It's Aunt Bully B to you, okay? All
Blue.
right.
Nate, hey Nate, Nate came over there to my channel today. Hey Nate, I'm glad you had a good time on
I
my
need
channel.
y'all to see how that dog has taken over. She done had that dog for 2 weeks. It's
Mm,
already her profile picture and her name. She done
I
changed
see.
her name. She done changed
Ravine,
her profile
Thank you,
picture.
Nay.
Ravine, where were you today? Because I didn't see you on my live, and you always want me to have all of these backflips, somersaults, and all of this stuff. Hey, Lemon Kush Pepper, but Ravine, you went on my live today, but you want me to jump through hoops whenever you come on and say hey to you, but you went on today. Hello, ma'am. Where were you, Ravine?
Okay.
I just need everybody to know that we are here to talk
We're
We're here.
about.
here. We are
We
No,
live.
are.
actually, no, it ain't my. It's Go ahead, Abby. What we here for? What? Why we here?
Hell, at this point, I don't even know. Welcome. Welcome to watch my siblings be mean to me for an hour. Thank you for coming. Thank you. Thank
Wait,
you.
what? What?
Yeah, they're mean to me, but I'm the meanest one out of the three of us. So I allow this abuse. But y'all better not say nothing to my siblings because I'm gonna go the fuck out.
I'm
Amen.
not mean at all.
I'm not mean at all either.
I would like the record to reflect that both of you cussed people out yesterday. So I don't.
I didn't cuss
I didn't
anybody out
cuss nobody
yesterday.
out yesterday. I like the record reflect that I did
I
not cuss
just talked.
anybody
I
out
just
yesterday.
talked about
I
the
simply
cold
cleared up
floor.
some
I
misunderstandings.
just talked about the cold tiled floor of the emergency rooms. That's all.
Mm. So, Abby, do you want to refer to your notes and tell us where we're going to start?
This the word what I'm talking about. This the no, because I ain't got no motherfucking notes. Why would you think I would have notes? So we are here to discuss both episode 8 and 9.
I don't remember 8. There's nothing to talk about from episode 8. Let's just be clear. Nothing.
What What did happen in episode 8?
Nobody knows.
We saw the 30-second clip of Wayne DePay at the end talk about
And then they didn't even talk
yeah, the
about it
top tip, and then they
this
don't say nothing
episode.
at the beginning of this episode. So
Like, hold on. Let me just say this. And Dario, come in, and Dario. I'm gonna do the really be. Come in, and Dario. I'm gonna do the really be. And Dario, sweetheart, doll baby, love bug. If you're going to put a scene with ambulance and Wayne the Pain and all of this involving allegedly Kendra being assaulting Wayne the Pain or whatever, whoever assaulted who, somebody was in the ambulance, and then ceremoniously come back to this episode and don't even mention it, don't even talk about it. That's bad producing. That's bad editing. You should have just left it out. We did not need to know that. If you were never going to address it, if you were never going to talk about it, if you were never going to unpack it, there was no need for you to even include that in last week's episode. I don't even want to hear about it in the reunion at this point because you never told us anything. We never got anything about it. So even in the reunion, it doesn't make sense for you to tell us anything from that because we don't know. And if Wayne the Pain is off the show, can we get a little blurb like you did with Seven this week and say from here on out, Wayne the Pain is no longer on the show? Because that we haven't seen Wayne the Pain in like 2.5 episodes.
He gonna be on the next episode.
I'm just saying, girl, I'm just trying to make sense
And
of it
there
all.
was also the conversation about Oliver stating how the energy is different depending on who's in the group at the time. Yes, ma'am.
So okay, yeah, that did happen. So now I have a question because I saw the episode and
Okay.
I watched Lord, I was gonna say El Teddy. I watched Oliver's review of his review of what it was he said and what he meant. I don't know if this was edited some kind of way. However, I don't think Willa was wrong for her interpretation of what Oliver said.
I don't think
What
so
Oliver
either.
said when? What did Oliver say at the
He said
meat
this.
market?
He said this energy feels good. You know, I'm paraphrasing, but he said this energy feels good. I like how we're all
Yeah, I
getting
didn't
along.
think bad with that. He was just saying, "Hey, we having a good time." I
Well,
interpret
the
it
people
as
who
saying
weren't there felt
we're
some
having a
kind of
good
way
time.
because they felt like the people who weren't there felt some kind of way because they felt like he was trying to say that basically it's better when they're not there. Which I don't think that's a direct connection, but I
Yeah,
do think
I
he was
didn't get
saying,
that.
yeah, I do think he was saying this mixture of
Mm-hmm.
people gets along well. Like there's no arguing, there's no drama. That doesn't mean that if other people, like Dominique wasn't there, I don't think if Dominique was there, it would have automatically meant an argument. But I think he was just saying, hey, this was a really good day.
You're right.
And we had a really good time. But I also can understand how Willa took it. Like,
Right.
well, so and so not here, and so and so not here. So what you trying to say? I don't think Willa repeating it was messy. And I don't think because I would have felt some kind of way if I was somewhere, if I was in a group dynamic, and let's say you weren't invited, Abby, or El Teddy, you weren't invited, and you're normally around, right? You guys are
Mm-hmm.
normally a part of the clique, but for whatever reason you couldn't be there that day, and somebody is like, "See, this works for me. This combination works for
But
me."
saying this works for
You're
me
gonna feel some
is
kind of way.
different from saying I like the vibe today. You know what I'm
Well, I
saying?
don't have the exact quote.
He said, "This feels good. Everybody looking good. Everybody doing good," is what he said.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like I said, I don't feel
It
like
didn't.
Willa was
It didn't
wrong.
come
I
off
don't feel
as
like Willa was.
offensive to me, but I just I don't know.
Hey, you gone?
I ain't there, so I can't tell them what is and is not offensive.
But if you the person that every time you are at an event, there's an altercation. Oh, thank you, Niecy. I appreciate you.
Oh, thank you, Nisi.
Thank you for
Woo,
the
woo,
super
woo,
Niecy
woo.
out here giving out coins. Shout out to Niecy. Even though when I came to really be house, you were hiding from me.
You know what? We're not going to do that. Okay. So
She was
that
upstairs with
happened.
COVID. Did she have COVID? I think she had COVID or something.
Did she have COVID? I don't think she had COVID when you were here. I think she was just up in her room being herself.
Sitting up in my room.
Ow, back in the
Listen, Nisi, listen, Nisi is a sweetheart, but she don't do people. She really don't do people.
I mean, she's the
You and
AKA,
I are
so
kindred
that makes
spirits
sense.
that way.
I'm not gonna
Don't do
go down
that.
the road
Don't do that. Don't do
to
that.
talk about the A, the
Don't
K
do
to the
that.
A.
Don't do that. Mm-mm.
Okay, so what else happened in the episode 8 before we jump
I
to the
well
next
let
episode?
me say this. I didn't. I feel like since we're talking about Willa, she did a bit much on the meat market.
We ain't
We
got
ain't
there
got
yet.
there
We still
yet.
on
The
episode
first part of
8.
the episode, isn't it?
We still on the episode from last week.
Oh, nothing happened in the episode. I don't remember nothing.
But we don't know. We don't have any notes. So we're just trying to
Oh,
remember.
well, there it is.
I'm trying to
Baby,
do the
you're
best
right.
with my
Oliver
old
does
ass
go switch
memory
shade.
to remember
Oliver
what the
does
freak
go switch shade and
happened.
just smile. He does do that. But I was just saying in that moment, I don't really.
I
I
don't
think that
feel
was
like he was
genuinely a
trying to. I don't feel
situation.
like now it can be taken as shade because he has a history of being slick shady. But I don't think in that moment he was trying
Yeah,
to.
I think that was truly a situation of. I don't think he meant it the way she
Right,
took it, but
that
I
it came
understand
across.
why she took it the way she took it. You know what I mean? So, but what Oliver
Like I
said is that
literally can't remember anything from last episode.
But what Oliver did say is that he is in a good place with all of them, and so he chooses to really just move forward and say, "Look, it was in the moment, and it was what it was." So he said that he's in a good place with Willa, Jay Moore, and Dominique and Troy, and so he's just gonna leave it boom right there. Thank you, Paul. Yes, yes, El Teddy, yes.
I'm going to say I do remember the smash part where they went and they smashed stuff,
Oh yeah.
Yes, they
Okay,
did. They
yeah.
did go to
Oh,
the
Rico
and Jay
told us
Moore
about the
took out his
breakup.
weave.
We found out Rico broke up with his boyfriend.
Yep.
Mhm.
He almost went to jail.
Mm-hmm.
There's a restraining order.
He
Oh,
does. I think he keyed the boy's car or tried to be
Or
yeah, that was a
assault
bit
busted his
much.
him
You
or
window
have
out
to
with
go
a
something.
see
drink or
the main
something.
car.
Something. He did something to that
He
boy.
did something to that boy's car.
You ain't have to do all that.
He was in. He was
Listen,
as the resident Scorpio. Sometimes yes, you do. Yeah, yeah. Yes,
And that's the problem with you Scorpios.
we are mad territorial about things and why he thought an open relationship was going to work
But
when
he
you
signed
and
up
you,
for an open relationship.
okay, we got that, but that's what Ebby was saying. Ebby said why he thought it was going to work. He thought he could do it, and
he thought he could
ultimately,
do it and he no.
what he said was in the back of his mind, he always knew, but he really wanted to be with this person. And we've all, well, maybe not El Teddy, but I mean, I feel like we've all sort of made compromises in the moment,
Make
thinking,
compromises, but
okay, well,
but in my compromising, if we break up, I don't throw my compromise at this person because I signed up for that compromise. If I compromise, I can't very well be mad at you about the compromise because that's what I signed up for. So I'm not going
I
to throw
agree.
that in
Well,
your face.
listen,
Well,
I
I
said,
understand
listen,
that
that's why I got cussed out at the beginning of this season because that's what I said at the beginning of the season. But I ain't gonna say nothing.
Like if I know there are compromises, but then there are non-negotiables, and everybody has non-negotiables. And so
Absolutely.
now, if you
right.
mess around with one of my
And
non-negotiables, then
I
I'm
feel
gonna
like
drag you.
Rico is just learning what his non-negotiables are, and maybe he thought he might be able to,
Hey, so
because whatever everybody what people can take in a relationship is different for everybody. Everybody line in the sand is different.
facts,
So
facts.
he's just now getting these full adult relationships.
Mm-hmm.
So he's now learning what he can and cannot take. He thought, oh, being in an open relationship might be cute, but baby, you a Scorpio. That ain't never gonna work. Let me be very clear. That's never ever gonna work. It's
And I,
never ever gonna I'd love to tell you, it's not gonna work. It's not you too territorial, beloved. Yes, sir.
Rico, Rico, dear one, doll baby. Love Bug. You, sir, are in your 30s, right? If I'm not mistaken, he's in his
But
30s,
he's
right?
before you go down that road, but he has said that he has not had a lot of
I
relationships
didn't ask
as
you
an
all of
adult.
that. I just asked, was he in his 30s?
Who are you talking to?
I'm talking to you because I was in mid sentence because you can't throw me off. Since you can't throw me off now, back to what I was saying because you over
Okay.
here trying to win me over people. Rico, doll baby, love bug, honey bunch, dear one. In gay years, you use your 20s for the figuring outs of the figuring outs. What your non negotiables are, what you're willing to compromise on. This ain't your first rodeo. This ain't your first or second or third
For the
relationship.
record, that's not a gay
Hey,
thing.
ma'am,
But you don't
thank
know
you.
that to be true, El Teddy. And he stunted because first of all, we don't know how old he was when he came out. There was also a point where he was thought he was going to be transitioning, and then he detransitioned. So we like it's different. Everybody's walk is different. So
Wait,
you
I
just
missed
because
that. I
you did a lot of things and all of that stuff in your 20s doesn't mean that that's that child's testimony.
right, and I missed that. I missed that Rico was thinking about transitioning. I missed that whole
Well, just fuck everything I got to say. I'm gonna just let y'all go because whatever I got to say doesn't even matter.
Nigga, if you don't
Because
get
I
your
ain't
life
even got the
together
chance
and
to
I'm
finish
and
what
we
I was
need to
saying.
Who you
because
yelling at though?
what you saying though, we was trying to
We're
help
just trying
you.
to help you. No, he didn't. Go ahead. Go ahead. I ain't gonna say nothing. Go ahead. I ain't gonna say nothing.
What I'm saying, Rico, is when you get to your 30s, you know full well, even if you tell me I'm
No, sir. No,
I
sir.
didn't say nothing. I didn't say a word.
I said something. No, sir. That is, it's not the same for everybody. Everybody doesn't reach the same
can I
maturation
finish my
at the
statement?
same time.
I
That's
Can
didn't
I
not how
say
finish
that.
my
him.
That's not how
statement?
life works. That's not how people work.
Can I finish my statement?
Go
Hey,
ahead.
John John. Hey, Boo.
His,
All I want to do is finish my statement.
finish your
I didn't
statement.
say
Finish your
nothing.
incorrect statement about this boy's
You
life.
can call it whatever you want to call it, but it's my statement, and he can take it how he want to take it. Now, as I was saying, now, sir, that you have 30 years, 3 decades on this planet in this lifetime,
Oh, Jesus Christ.
even certain things that you may not have experienced earlier in life, when you get to be a certain age, you know what is and is not going to work for you. Although I may have never been in an open relationship in my life, someone comes to me and says, I want an open relationship. I know my capacity and my propensity to be able to tolerate a bitch over here having sex with my man. Because the first time you give a harder groan, a harder, moan, flex a little harder, go down a little further, they make you contort a little further than I do. Bitch, I'm ready to anthrax all you bitches. I'm just telling you. And
Okay,
Right.
so
but here's the thing, though.
what
Here's the
I'm
thing with that.
saying is, what I'm saying is, Rico, and I'm not trying to be disrespectful to you at all, Rico, but because I know y'all watch our platform, our reviews. What I'm saying is, you have to be true with yourself. When that man came, if you like this man and you want to be with this man, and you know that a person knows up front, bitch, I don't want another man kissing on my man, and I ain't got to never experience an open relationship. You need to just be honest with yourself. You are old enough now where you could just be honest with yourself and just say, that ain't something I can sign up for. That ain't something I can do. And you know that up front. You know whether or not certain things you
But I
can
just
deal with. I'm just saying, and you don't have to have
But
experienced that to know whether or not you can deal with that. You
but
know
but
but
I
up
just
front.
but
but I
that's
think the
because you
point
are
is some people
up
are
at,
willing
wait a
to
minute. You
try.
are an amalgamation of everything that has happened to you up until that point where you figure out some things. So just like because of the way my parents' marriage ended, by the time I was age eligible to start getting into relationships, I already had that hard line in the sand in regards to fidelity because of how my parents' relationship went. Now, if you didn't have that in your background to bring you to that point, you might think, oh, it sounds fun. It might be something that I can do. And you don't know that you can't do it until you are in it, which is literally what that child said. He was like, at the beginning, he was all cool. Oh, no.
Cause no, that was from really be who's over here,
That baby
girl.
said
You Abby over here
at
making
first
a
he
point,
was
and you over here, girl.
Rico said at first he was okay, and then I believe, and when you first start out, and it's butterflies and everything is new and all that's real cute, but when you start to develop deeper feelings for somebody, then yes, then the territorialness of being a Scorpio is going to kick in. I don't want nobody looking at this nigga, let alone him fucking somebody else. What you mean? I'm gonna have to kill everybody. What's happening? But he didn't
I
know.
just
But,
believe that
but some
certain things,
people, you
you
don't know
know.
until you get into the situation. You might think you have the capacity and the fortitude to be able to do that until you're actually in the situation. And then you realize, oh no, I don't like this. I don't want to do this. But clearly the partner was like, oh no, I'm not here for a long time. I'm here for a good time. And then his windows got busted out. And there it was.
And let's be clear, we have all, and when I say we've all, maybe except for El Teddy, but we have
I didn't
all
say I
adjusted.
haven't.
Look, let me finish. We've all, you know, convinced ourselves that we could do certain things for love. I mean, I have, you have people who have opened themselves up to things that they probably would say, no, I would never do that. Then you fall in love, and then it's another conversation. And I think that's just what it was with Rico. Damn it, that's just what it was. Okay, but Rico realized that he wasn't gonna do it, and he went over that boy house and he busted the windows out of his car. Allegedly, maybe that's what we heard. Okay, damn.
I just don't want Rico to end up in law enforcement, hands. I don't want anything bad. When you busting windows out of people's cars, you could land in jail. That's what I'm saying. I don't
Oh,
want
you said in
anything
law
bad.
enforcement, like you was about to put him in the police academy. That's what I thought you were saying.
No, in law enforcement's hands or anything like
He
that. I
said he
don't want
don't want the
anything
people
bad
to
to
get
happen to
involved.
anybody. Because when you start, doing things to people's property, you could land in jail. And what I'm saying is, I don't think anybody is worth your freedom. You know what I'm
I think
saying?
he would agree with you too now.
I'm just, and so I just think we just need to be honest. And even if you say I got into it for love, when it's broken off, I understand we get emotional. I understand all of that stuff. And Abby, I'm not talking to you because I know you're choosing violence every time. So I already know where you're going with this, Abby. We're not talking to you, Abby, because we know exactly you would have did way worse than Rico, and we know that. But what I'm saying is, for Rico, I don't want him to think, okay, I'm throwing caution to the wind. I got friends with bail money. Fuck this shit. I'm going to jail today. He go get fucked up. I just want him to choose better choices because every black men going to jail has a whole different, stank on it. There's a whole lot more that goes to you as a black man, gay or not, to jail than anyone else in these yet to be United States of America. And I always want us to think about that. As mad as we are, as emotional as we are, we always have to think about it. They don't care about us. They don't care if we die or not. They will lock us up forever and just say, well, oh well, it's another black man dead. We don't care. And I just want us to think about that. And I think sometimes in the LGBTQ community, because we are the girls, as we like to call each other affectionately, and we think we're absolved of that, we still carry the stigma of being a black male. And when you commit crimes, the people will say, oh, that's a black man. We locking him up. Period.
I understand wholeheartedly and completely, which is why try to avoid confrontation altogether if I possibly can. But that comes from a long time of sitting on somebody's sofa and finding tools to manage the rage that I have. Um, so
And we all have to.
that I can recognize the signs of when I can feel myself getting to that point to where I can't pull it back in to avoid all of that to begin with. However, this is brand new to Rico. So he's just going with the emotion at the time. And while it was good that he's got to sit down with the psychic lady and she talked to him about some things, he needs to also go sit on a psychotherapist sofa somewhere and learn some tools to manage his emotions, because I love Rico, but I see the hot-headed 15-year-old girl that I was in him, that's ready to pop off on everybody every second at the mere slightest inconvenience,
But
or
Rico ain't 15. Rico is in his 30s.
right, and
That's not what she's saying.
or modicum of disrespect that he feels has
Ugh.
been handed to him, he's going nuclear. And I just need him to get some tools in his toolkit to be able to manage that, because I know what that is. I know that ball of rage that lives down on deep down on the inside of me, where I could be a Rico and any perceived amount of disrespect, I can go nuclear and cuss everybody out and get into fights and all of those things. But because I have sat on somebody's sofa, and actually the only reason why I was able to get myself under control is because I blacked out so bad, I scared myself. And I was like, okay, this is too much. Because I almost killed somebody. I almost killed that lady. I wasn't
I
going
think
to stop until she stopped moving. Like they had to pull me off of her. And it scared me. So I had to go somewhere and sit down because I don't want that to happen. Because I don't want that placed on me to where I get so far gone that I can't pull it in and somebody ends up seriously hurt behind me and not being able to regulate my emotions and get myself together and in check.
I
So
think also
I just want him to get those, because I see myself in him and I want him to be able to get those tools to manage his emotions so we don't have to worry about the people getting him. I'm coming from the same place you are, Elton. I don't want the people to be able to get him because he done bust somebody upside the head with a bottle, or
right.
at this particular instance, he had that thing on him and pop, pop, pop. And then now what? Now somebody possibly they unalive behind you not being able to regulate your emotions.
The one of the reason I keep harping on the age factor is, and I talked about this with somebody a couple weeks ago, is there's a small amount, or in some people's a large amount of arrested development that happens within our community, in that even as a child, because of a lot of the trauma that is faced just being and trying to exist in who you aren't able to go through the natural progression of a child and fully, flush all of that out so that you go through the natural progression, you become an adult, and you can, go through all of those stages. So there is a certain amount of arrested development where some of the reactions, some of the things that you do because people, act a certain way or do certain things to you, is still mimicking teenage years or even prior to that. because of that arrested development. And if we within the community never address that, never unpack that, or as you say, never sit down with somebody to really get work our ways through that, we will always be reacting in our 30s and 40s as if we're teenagers or in our early 20s. And that's why I'm bringing it up, because that should be a calling card or an outcry to say, hey, I am in my 30s and I should not still be reacting this way. Let me go talk to someone, seek someone who can help me get past this so that I can truly, you know, get to where I should be now, like you said, Abby, where I now know what the look fors are, what the triggers are, and I know how to detach myself and say, nope, let me go on over there because I'm not gonna let myself go down that road no more. So that's the reason that I just kept bringing up the whole age thing, because there is that goes on with that.
Absolutely. And he needs friends that'll hold him accountable, and who, which is why I thank God for you two, because and mother, because y'all shield me from a lot of the stuff that happens in that other sector. Y'all shield me from a lot of that stuff. Mother purposely didn't send me that link because he didn't want me attacked, because he knows you gonna have to, you can't say a whole bunch of stuff to me. You gonna have to come say it to my face, and then we gonna take it from there. And I appreciate the fact that y'all know that about me, and even if y'all subconsciously don't know you're doing, you actually shield me from a lot of things, and I for one appreciate it. I do. Y'all be keeping me from knocking people the fuck out, and I appreciate that. I do. I love y'all. And I think he needs some people like that.
Teddy
I
that
think
he
he needs
wanted
some
to fight people.
accountability partners to
Wait,
catch him and be like, "Hey,
what did
boo."
you say, really, B? What did you say about me?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh man, just a mess. Just a mess.
Oh
What I
God,
do
I continue.
appreciate, I don't remember anything else from episode whatever that was. I don't remember anything else.
No. Something very important did happen. It might not seem important in the moment, but it's going to be very important later on. When they went to when they were at the
When
Smash place and
and
Tonka let
Oliver
it be
said,
known that him and Kane are becoming a thing, and Oliver said, well, I just want to let you know, so you don't hear it later
Yeah,
in the streets, that me and Kane have flirted. Now, Oliver, I like you, we cool and all, but girl, you
but y'all
lied.
know y'all bust each other down.
But you lied
I think he
to
was
that
trying to
boy.
be
Now,
politically
Oliver
correct
said that off
in the
camera,
moment
he
on
did give him
camera.
all of the details, that he just didn't feel like everybody, like AKA us, needed to know all the details.
But we knew
But
that.
But then he went on his live and told all the details.
And this is Kane we're talking about.
well, he has to tell the
Kane,
people because of what happens in the rest of the season.
Yeah,
but
probably.
let me say this. Kane, a couple things I have in common with Kane is we don't mind. We are whores.
That you a
If we
whore?
want it, we gonna let you know, bitch, it's time for to get down. We're not squeamish about anything. Really, B, I just got a notification about your live. You doing live? I
I'm
don't know.
supposed to be going live at 10:30, but I can push it back
I know. I just saw a notification. I was
because
like,
we
oh
spent 30 minutes talking about Rico's open relationship.
wow.
That's because we deep dive into the emotions. Because when you're a mature
Right. I know
adult,
you gonna let us. We didn't know you were scheduling a live at 10:30.
we speed it up. We got 30 minutes to talk about episode
Right.
8.
Let's
Can I
speed
just
it
say,
up.
okay, all
And I
right.
can
So
always
we
Let's
go
push
get
it
with
back.
through it.
Listen,
so
Yeah, I'm I'm
let's
not going to bed tonight. I'm staying up till it's time for me to leave for the airport. That's why I went live. That's why I scheduled my live so
what.
late.
First of all, hold on,
Where are
because
you
your ass
going?
don't know how to sit still. Where you going now?
Right.
I told y'all where I was going.
You didn't tell us a
You didn't
goddamn
tell me anything,
thing.
love.
Nothing.
That's not true.
You did not.
Beloved, you didn't tell us anything.
Sweetheart, dear one, love bug. Because we both over here looking like airport. Where?
Mm.
My husband is hollering in the chat. No, you didn't.
And thank you, Jonathan. Thank you, Fi.
You didn't tell
Because
us
she knows
anything.
she tell us nothing. Girl. Like,
Listen,
oh, I'm going to the airport. Oh, to where?
I don't know, but if I wanted to, I can go to the airport now at any time and get on a plane and pay what $0, as long as I'm dressed appropriately. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Oh,
Well, I can't
also
go for
in
$0.
in
I will have to
episode
pay.
8, we got another volume. Oh, okay, good. With Bestie.
No, no.
You
Oh,
going, wait,
I was about
what?
to say, tell him I said hey.
You sure did tell us that. You
Uh,
sure did not tell us that, ma'am.
oh, Tracy said you putting your legs in the air. Oh no.
Anybody listening to Tracy?
Okay, so I lost my train of thought. We're fooling with y'all.
Mhm.
So all right, so we're at the meat market because I don't know if anything else was in the last episode, but child,
I
let's
don't
get to the meat
either.
It
market
was, but I can't remember what happened.
because you
Oh
don't have
no,
notes.
we got Berlin and Jay Twan, and Berlin is still telling the same story about this sugar daddy.
That
And
we don't care about. That we
I'm
don't
not.
believe.
I'm
listen,
not doing
okay, so
that.
here's the
No.
thing. This is what I wanted to say to y'all because I don't know if y'all. I was in a live, and what I heard was that this sugar daddy storyline was pilfered from Pose and Mother Electra. Because Berlin told the girl her sugar daddy and her is not seeing eye to eye, and now she's at a high-end restaurant as a hostess. Does that sound familiar to anybody? Remember when Electra got her bottom surgery?
Oh yeah, no, I know. Yeah.
And her,
Yeah.
I was I it that is the rumor that is where
Well,
that
I'm gonna be
story.
honest with y'all, and I know ain't nobody gonna believe me when I say this. I thought that from the beginning, but I wasn't gonna say nothing. But I thought that from the beginning.
I don't pay enough attention to
They
her
never
to
even
even have
because
thought that.
I because I don't
I
know.
told y'all my thoughts on her. She take bumps.
Listen. I just didn't understand why you ain't put no nest egg away. This man giving you all this money and you not socking at least a little bit of it for a rainy day. Every time that man puts some honey in my hands, a little goes in, in the back over here to the left on the account that don't nobody know about. Cause
All right, so can we get to the meat market?
oh God,
Mm.
yes,
She is
ma'am.
right. We're
We
officially being
okay
rushed
at the
now.
beginning of the episode. She's trying to rush us so she can get to
She
her.
No,
is.
I'm not.
We're
No, 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 no,
officially
no,
being
no.
rushed.
Stop. Stop. No, stop. I guess it's cutting out on my end. I didn't know Abby was still talking. I didn't hear anything, so I thought it was just dead air, and that's why I said, "So can we talk?" I apologize. I didn't hear you, Abby. I wasn't trying to cut you
That's
off.
okay. It's okay. Uh, we at the meat market where there's no meats and it's not a good market. So I don't, I don't even know what we were
I'm
because I
confused
felt like it
though.
was
I'm
five
I'm
niggas.
I'm
confused.
not gonna say it wasn't a good market. That's not fair to the people there.
It's very fair.
I'm
Yes,
confused.
Loretta. Yes,
I
Loretta.
distinctly remember flyers being posted on Oliver's social media. I distinctly remember post flyers being posted on Chase and Reality social media. You mean to tell me that between Oliver Twixt and Chase and Reality, they couldn't get a room full of Negroes in Atlanta for a LGBTQ event? Now they did say it was going to be filmed, and okay, maybe everybody don't want to be on camera, but it's enough thirsty mofo's that want all the people that be auditioning every year to be on Chasing Atlanta. I'm confusion as to why it was only 4 people there. I'm confused. Jamar
Oh,
did say that.
Jamar
Now
said
Jamar
that
did say that
Oliver.
Oliver was an hour late, and a lot of people left.
Okay, maybe that explains everything. So you can't be mad then.
But
I
that
mean,
many
you can't
people
be mad.
left.
Why would
But
they
the
should
thing about it
they
is
should have told
too.
Oliver the
But
wrong
here's the
time. That
deal.
boy
Here's
gave
the
him
deal.
more time to say
If
his
you
line.
tell me that you're doing a speed dating for Chasing Atlanta and the people on Chasing Atlanta, I'm not going. And a lot of people are not going because those are not the people that you want to be, hooked up with. And I'll be on now. This is what we get into, and this goes back to Willa and her situation. I'm gonna be honest, and this is probably what they don't want to talk about, and people don't want to address. There's not this camaraderie between the G and the T of the Rainbow Coalition. They're in their separate little entities, and a lot of the G's are not on the same page with a lot of the T's. And what I mean by that is, like Willa said, baby, in a dark alley, they may be willing to go do whatever, but baby, they're not coming out on no cameras with you. They're not going to be in public with you. They're not trying to understand your plight and what you're going through. And that doesn't sit well. That doesn't sound nice. But that's the reality of the situation with a lot of the G's and the T's. And think about chasing reality right now. We have more trans women. Not that that's a bad thing than we've ever had. We have Berlin, we have Willa, we have Seven, we have Kendra. That's more than we've ever had because normally we have what, one, maybe two.
Hmm.
Normally we have one, and then we had when Lauren was transitioning, we started having two. But you either have the trans girls, you have the butch queens or femme queens or whoever you want to call them. There's not a lot of masculinity on the show, so you're not going to get a whole lot of people out here say, "Oh, I'm just going down to do a speed dating with the girls from Chasing Atlanta." Even in Atlanta.
Right.
I'm just
They
being
said
honest. They
that
may
the
want to be on
rooftop
the
event,
show,
there was
but
no roof
dating,
and no
I
top.
don't see it.
So listen, it was gonna be what it was. I didn't like the way that LaBoy tried to play Willa to the left after being so deep in her inbox and giving her all of these accolades and stuff. But when you get there in person, now you act like
But the
I
cameras
don't
was
like it.
on.
I was ready to fight him,
But
honestly.
but
Uh,
Abby, that's how it is. The cameras were on. They'll do something in a dark alley or in a dark room with you, but they're not getting on no camera and they're not walking down. And they're not even gonna walk down the street with you, much less be on camera. And I'm not saying that's right or fair, but that's just how these girls are. That's how they are. Hey, Scotty,
Hi, baby.
Hey, Scotty Boo.
Uh-uh. Ravine said Dominique said she was Butch.
I'm trying to figure that out too. Girl, Butch,
Listen now.
where?
I don't want to be disrespectful, but I didn't get that memo either.
Girl,
When is Dominique Butch?
girl, I have chronicled Dominic and all of his givings on this show, none of which have been Butch.
Yeah, I was confusion by that. I ain't gonna lie. Now I don't mean no
Girl,
disrespect, Dominique.
I'm
But
not doing this
Scotty,
with
I
you,
would say you're
Scotty.
more Butch than
Scotty is more Butch than
Dominique.
Dominique. I will give Scotty that. He is way more Butch than Dominique. I'll give Scotty that. But my little sis is a
I
legit.
don't mean no harm and I don't mean no disrespect, but hip huggers and tank tops does not make Butch.
Hello,
I'm
girl,
sorry, crop tops. Crop tops. When is that Butch?
girl. Just go back and look at some of my old thumbnails, okay? You will see, girl.
We agree with you, Scotty. You are Butch.
And I do feel like I feel the same way. I'm glad that Willa did have the post to air it out. But speaking of speaking of Dominique did say that that scene got a lot. It was that scene was a lot worse, and Dario did cut a lot of it out. That guy got very disrespectful towards Willa,
The
and
dark
that a lot
skinned
of it
guy.
was cut out. So
They
I'm
should
glad.
have
I'm
jumped
glad
his
that it was
ass.
cut out. I'm glad it was addressed. That they ushered him out of there. I'm glad it was addressed.
Well, I mean, I'll say like this: in some,
Hold on,
if
we have special
it
guest.
just to play devil's advocate, if I you
Hi.
can't force people down a road that they don't want to go down. Just like you can't force someone to out themselves and come out the closet. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
If the guy says, "Listen," and it's not fair, but if he says, "I'm not willing to go down that road on camera yet," and in another regard, some people I don't mind a bust down with you, but in terms of us dating and us being together, it may not be that. And that's no slight on Willa. I'm not trying to come at Willa at all because there are people who will love on Willa and be great for Willa. I just don't think it was that guy, and I don't know. I wasn't there. I don't know how the scene went, but I think if it was left to the guys saying, because I'm just gonna go with what we saw, if we saw that they asked him if he wanted anybody on stage, or if Willa said yes, I want to go with this guy, and the guy said no, that's not who I wanted to go after. I think we could have just left it at that and just went on with it.
But here's what I'm gonna say. But here's and this is first of all, you knew what it was. You knew it was being filmed. Like you said, you know who's on the show, so you knew that there was going to be a possibility. And I'm sure that that's what was said to them. I'm sure all of that was covered. Even if, even if all of that is true, it was a damn TV show. The man could have got up, walked up, and it could have kept it moving and all of that. But if you didn't want it to be that way, then you should have been one of them people that left. I'm sorry. I hear what you're saying, but it just won't that serious. I just want that serious.
Okay. Sir, do you have any thoughts about the meat market where there were no meats and the market was terrible?
Oh, I didn't get caught up on the episode.
Not you with I told your silly ass to watch the episode and you didn't watch it.
The game came on. I started doing other work. I fed my
You're
child.
fired.
I am.
I love you, but
But
you're
I
fired.
but that is an immaculate Florida Marlins hat.
I appreciate that.
Like
I
it's
do.
fire. Like I'm kind of like don't let me catch you in a dark alley because I'm walking away with
My
it.
hat game is for real. I don't even wear 80% of the hats that I have. The hat
Well, that's
game is cute.
fire. That's fire. I
Cute.
love that.
Cute.
Meanwhile, in the chat, Jeff Don Don is slandering poor Scotty's butchness.
Yeah, because I don't know where y'all get Butch from Scotty. Now I said she's more Butch than
What I said was that
uh
Scotty was more Bush than Dominique. Now I
he
just
is, but my little sister is still a legit. No mistake. She's a
I
legit.
would say Scotty a lady.
I
She's a
think
legit.
Scotty is not a lady at all.
Scotty is not.
Listen, as someone in the Rainbow Coalition,
You
Scotty,
don't listen. You don't get to dismiss my opinion.
because you're not in it, you're not. This
You
is
don't
not
get to
your. This
dismiss
ain't
my
your area.
opinion.
This
You
ain't
don't
your
get to
area,
say
boo.
because I ain't in the
This ain't your
community
area,
that my
boo.
opinion don't count.
I
You don't get to
listen.
dismiss my opinion. I
I am a
said it.
legit. I am a legit. Scotty is also a legit. I'm just saying.
No, Scotty does
No,
not give me lady. Not at
at
all.
all.
Girl, and but Chef Don Don know where I'm coming from. When we at the place at the spaces in the compound, she's a woman. Every man wants a woman. We are women, honey. We are legit.
Mm.
Y'all go back up off my Scotty
I
now. I don't
love
know.
We
Y'all,
love
Scotty.
Scotty
Scotty
if
is
I
all.
my
give Scotty a
girl.
hard time, y'all can't give Scotty a hard time. Moving on.
Scotty is my Judy. I love her. But if listen,
Tracy
if
said
it is
you a
what it
lady
is.
of the night, L Teddy. So
I'm not the only
Hey,
lady of the night.
look now stop because when I was teaching in college, one of my students because I one of my two of my close friends are gay, so we went to a gay club. And one of my students was like, "Oh, I saw you with so and so whatever night." I said, "Well, no, you didn't, because I didn't see you, and I be looking." And he was like, And I said no, and he's at the time he was still in the drag real heavy up through his house. This Negro showed me a photo. I said, "Oh, you're a whole woman, sir. That's not you." I had so many questions. I said, why your titties
Scotty
look
was like,
real?
you're a
I'm
whole ass woman.
confused. No, it
That
was
he
all
was a whole woman.
I promise you, I walked past him 4 times.
Oh wow.
Wow.
Like
Now
He's
I'm
Like I
not
titties
said,
look
saying
trying to
real,
be
Scotty
dirty.
is
everything.
not a femme queen. Scotty's a butch queen. Butch queens are
Okay.
still women. Those are the girls.
I don't think, but Scotty doesn't give that though.
Scotty is a butch queen. Scotty's not a femme queen. Scotty's a butch queen. He's still a butch queen. Let's
Okay.
be clear.
I'm gonna let you have that, and we gonna move on to my note taking ass to the next thing that happened, which I don't even know what was the next thing that
You
happened
said
it
in
was
your story.
Tonka's video
note
shoot.
taken.
Tonka's video shoot where he did the auditions for them to walk,
Yeah.
and where the person that he's so in love with and in relationship with is calling him by the incorrect pronouns, and he won't correct him. And Tony had to correct him about the pronouns.
Well, to be
Um,
fair, a
I
lot of
was
people
still
don't.
confused
To
about
be fair,
pronouns
a lot
too.
of people don't use Tonka's correct pronouns, and Tonka doesn't correct them.
I know, and that's a problem.
But and
I
I
I'm
agree.
I
also
need him
confused
to if
in
if his pronouns are she and her, then she needs to see. Look at now I'm doing it. Then she needs to she needs to correct people. It don't have to be rude and
but if you
nasty.
tell but Evie, if you tell me you're GNC, if you say you're gender non-conforming, but then say my pronouns are she and her, that's gender conforming. That's
conforming.
not
Yeah.
gender non-conforming.
Okay,
That's and I
I
think
don't
that's
know how
where
it
some
works.
of the
I
confusion.
just
Now
know if
you
you
came out to me and say I'm GNC, my pronouns they, them, their. Okay, girl, I'm with you. But you tell me you're gender non-conforming, you present yourself in many cases as a male, but then tell me that your pronouns are she, her. It allows
then
for,
that says to me that continues to say to me that you're gender non-conforming if
but
you're
that's why
male
you should
presenting, but
tell
your
me. That's
pronouns are
why it
she
makes more
her.
sense for your pronouns to be them, they, their, as opposed to you saying I am she, her, because that would be gender conforming.
Oh, wait a minute. Whose tea
What I
did you
do,
clock?
schoolboy? I didn't clock no T. What T that I clocked? I
Ooh,
don't have an opinion on this conversation because I don't understand any of it. I just whatever people say they are, I just go with it.
I understand it. I just understand that I'm also a visitor, so I don't care to give my opinion. It doesn't matter. Like,
Yeah, I
because
don't.
like I played a gig last year with a backup singer who presents feminine for all intents and purposes, and he is a male, and
Oh,
and he's a male soprano like that, and so
Whereas we call it
everything
counter tenor.
everything about him says feminine, long hair, jean. I mean head to toe, but he like his because his mom his mother is a gospel singer out here that was pretty well known, and she kept saying my son, and so I called the drummer like, hey, am I, and he was like, I thought the same thing. Yes, he does present as feminine, but his pronouns are still he him. So I just once
right.
I
It's
because in my
whatever you want
mind,
me to call you, baby.
yeah,
That's what it
exactly, because
is.
for
But
me it's
that's he still may be, he may not be GNC or non-binary. He may be, my pronouns are he him. I may have a feminine aesthetic and everything, but I'm still he him.
right.
But if you say I'm gender non-conforming,
Then you should be they them,
non-binary,
correct? By
Yes,
that definition.
it should be they them, but he identifies as she her.
I
So,
again, I'm a visitor. You want me to, if you dress like a he and you want me to call you a she, I ain't tripping because I got we and this was an argument I've had plenty of times. Like, think about how many nicknames or how many people from the neighborhood we call things that's not them, and that's just what
mhm.
they're comfortable being called. So I don't know. I
And
got
I
bills and
think
stuff to pay, so it's not.
even more so for Tonka, Tonka doesn't. present himself as feminine energy.
Mm-mm,
You
mm-mm.
understand what I'm saying? So it's even more reason why he should make sure that he is upfront with
She,
the hey,
she,
my pronouns
she,
are
She,
well, she, I'm sorry,
she.
she, that she is upfront with the fact that my pronouns are she, her. Thank you, really be. Because you don't present as she, her, and somebody walking off the street
is
is
not
not
going to
going to
know unless
say
you tell them.
she, her unless you tell them.
My thing is, this the man that you laying down in the bed with every day. If don't nobody get your pronouns right,
And if you allow them to say anything, then you certainly can't be looking at us crazy.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Okay, let's bump it on down because we've been on here almost an hour. Let's get to the end and the fool I love with Troy. Troy went to Houston for his birthday, and happy birthday to him. Ike and what's the face? Cameron was
Yeah.
there. Lovely. They had toast. They went to the museum. His best friend said he was gonna move to Florida. He might have changed his mind because apparently, according to El Teddy, he's still in Atlanta.
Ain't say nothing. I'm just here.
Anyways, so
He said he
Troy.
wasn't gonna say that on camera, Abby.
Oh, did he? Oh.
Yeah.
He was spotted in Atlanta. Sources say he was spotted.
Oh my God.
This is why we can't have nice things.
I'm sorry. Sorry. Listen, he's
Oh
doing.
Lord.
Maybe he was
Ma'am,
visiting.
I'm gonna need you to do better before it's
Please
your rotation again.
better.
I'm gonna need you.
I forgot. My bad. Okay, so lovely. So Troy, well, no, they have whose bowling alley event is this? Whose
I think
event?
they all just got together to go bowling.
Okay. So they get together. It is Troy, Dominique, Oliver, Tonka,
It's
Seven.
everybody. I thought everybody was there.
Yeah, well, uh, well, we were born weren't there, but
We
I
Were
think
Born was missing the whole episode. They
Hmm.
weren't there in the whole episode.
And
The
Wayne
last
wasn't
time
there.
was
we
there.
saw
I
We
don't
Were
remember
Born,
seeing
they was
Wayne
at the
either.
house.
I don't
Wayne
remember
wasn't there
Wayne
either.
either.
Wayne wasn't there either, no.
Wayne
Wayne
was still
wasn't.
trying to find Kendra in the ambulance.
Well, who was in the ambulance? Lord, I gotta get caught up.
TS Lil Kendra, because apparently she whooped up on Wayne the Pain, and we don't know because we got 30 seconds of that clip and then nothing this episode, which didn't make any sense. But apparently
Nothing.
they're gonna revisit it in the next episode because Wayne the Pain gonna be talking about it. So we'll figure it out from there. But this conversation between Troy and Seven. So here's what happened. This is y'all. This is my interpretation. This is what I heard. Troy said, "Ooh, let me holler at you right quick." So they go to a corner. And apparently, Troy is in his feelings because for the meatless market event, he
The meatless
hosted.
market. So a vegan event.
Listen, listen.
Not the tofu event.
So at the onset of the meatless market,
Vegan market.
listen, there the thing was is that Seven said that they were paying for the space and they had to pay for a bartender and all the things were coming out of her pocket. So when it came down to somebody hosting the event, she was like, well, what do we need a host for? Like there wasn't even going to be a microphone, it wasn't going to be none of that. That's not what this event was supposed to be. So Troy being the host never even occurred to her because why would make it make sense to her? Why would we need a host for this event? But it came to pass that I guess they needed it. So she got Troy to be the host. But Troy, I guess, felt entitled because that's what he do. He hosts things that he just naturally assumed that he would be the number one choice and he would be the only choice to be the one to host the meatless market. And so he was in his feelings when Seven had to be talked into there actually being a host and him being the host. So apparently off camera, Seven already apologized to this man about this, and they said, and they were supposedly good. I'm sorry, it was not my intention to upset you or anything like that. None of that. You my good Brista. I love you, and I love you too. Happy birthday, rah rah, all of those good things. And so she thought they were good. And apparently Troy was still felt in an ought in his spirit in regards to Seven over this. Well, somebody needs to convince me why we need to have a host for this event. Now he done pulled up months later. He pulling this baby to the side to say, "Well, I just feel some type of way that you felt like I didn't need to host the event and blah blah blue 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 blue." And she goes again to reiterate, "This is why I felt this way. It was coming out of my pocket. I was not trying to have my pocket stretched out, blah, blah, blah. And I've already apologized for this." And then Troy immediately, "Well, I just feel like da 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 da." Listen, why are we rehashing this again? I've already told you that I was sorry for offending you in any manner. Why are we still having? We're not going to do this. And she did what I would have done, because I
I
can
was
see
with
that
her.
very
I
laughing,
was with
very.
her a thousand
I'm
percent.
going to excuse myself from this situation because apparently
You
I feel like you want a moment
know?
like
Hmm.
you had with Oliver at the Top Golf, where you walk off, swish off, and throw your pocketbook over your shoulder and walk off from the space, like you, like if you was the wounded party. You've already received your apology. Why are we still rehashing this?
I
I thought it was
mean,
very interesting that he did the exact same thing that he accused Jatwan of doing. You're just trying to have a scene. You're just trying to do it. If you could have called me, if you had something to say, you could have called me off camera.
and
Like,
did.
I agree with I agree with everything you just said. I'm like, if we talked about it, I apologized for it, and we have had multiple conversations since then, and we have all moved forward. What you not gonna do is try to have a moment now. Like, come on, stop playing with me. Now,
But
I do
Troy
have one
does
question.
this.
Oh, go ahead, baby.
Troy
I'm sorry.
Troy does this. He's been doing this since he's been on the show. He tries to orchestrate these moments. And Seven was like, "Girl, I don't know about all your orchestrations, but baby, I'm not going to be one of your orchestrations." Now, I agree with Seven in that if you know most speed dating situations I've been to, there isn't a host. There's somebody who gives the rules, or they'll have a sheet of paper that has the rules and parameters, and there'll be one person. Or I've been the one where they had a buzzer, and every time the buzzer went off, you had to move to the next table. Or there'll be. I went to one where there was somebody who said, "All right, everybody move," and we moved. But it wasn't like what Troy was doing. And I also feel like if there was no host and it was more organic, like while we're talking, we can exchange numbers, we wouldn't have had that whole situation with Willa and Cam's ex-boyfriend. And that whole situation could have been avoided as well. So I think the whole having a host is what was the demise of this whole situation. And as we see at this point, the demise of Seven even being on this platform. Because remember, we started with Seven being the one windmilling for Dominique and
Troy
Troy
and Troy.
anyway. And let me also say that the deeper and deeper we get into this season, the more and more is Troy going back to being Troy and his foolishness and fuckery and being the cog that is involved with starting all of the bullshit.
Listen, I was.
So
Go
I
ahead.
do have a question though. All of that, I agree with all of that. But when did this become Seven's event? Because I thought it started off as Oliver's event when he was talking to Dominique 2 episodes ago saying he wants to do a speed dating event. Remember, Willa and Seven said that Oliver had invited them. So when did this even become Seven's event?
When she
Probably
paid
when
for
none of them hoes put up
the
money.
event space
Yeah,
and the
yeah.
bartender.
When none of them
When
hoes
she,
put
when
up
she,
money,
when she reached out in her purse to pay your way
right?
and your homeboy's way and sometimes your cousin's way,
But this way,
that's when it became her event.
that's what it became. Because they probably kept talking and talking, and Seven probably was like, "Girl, let me just go ahead because I got some connections. Girl, let me go ahead and get this together." Because remember, Dominique told us that the only reason that the microphones and stuff was there was because he got the microphones and stuff to be there because there was never supposed to be microphones there.
Child.
Child, the vegetarian market was a disaster from beginning to end.
And was
And
it worth quitting over? Like Seven, girl.
Well, I mean, first off, where's the meat?
Well, there was no beef.
there
That
It
was
was.
was
I
a
don't know.
vegan market.
You lost
I
me at
do have
vegan.
another question. Oh, we did forget something else important. Remember when they were at the video shoot when J.L. Moore was talking about why he don't like Kane and why he don't like Kane messing with his friend? Because he
Oh,
said it
because
was a whole situation where he was invited somewhere and Kane, a friend of a friend, and Kane tried to have a threesome and
mhm.
he felt like that he felt some kind of way about it. Yeah, okay.
I
yeah.
do think that with that being said, that Tonka know what you're getting into. Don't end up like Rico, where Rico, ended up in a situation that he really knew, or well, he may not have known, but wasn't comfortable with, and it was a whole lot of outside stuff. Kane, we've seen time after time again, he don't mind getting it in. So just, I'm not saying he is now. I'm not accusing him of doing anything, but just know what you're getting into and
Right.
know the history.
I hope you're not going by that ridiculous mantra, a piece of man is better than no man at all.
Oh
Because
God.
that ain't it. You mm-mm.
You can have a piece of my love.
Oh wow.
My God, here we go.
Girl.
The
Why Jet want to say? Why Jet want to say a uppercut ain't never really hurt nobody? Who? I'm watching episode 2 right now.
Wait a minute, what?
Wait, episode two.
Episode, sir,
Wait,
Look,
sir.
I call.
First
episode
of all, he
one.
calls it chasing Decatur. So we don't really.
I gotta give Ebony a hard time. We don't. We're it's foolishness. As soon as she see my name, she already know.
Sir,
Mm.
this is what I have to put up with on the FaceTime all day. This right here
Every day.
every day.
Wait, Ash say Dominique say it was his event. How, sir?
So it went from Oliver's event to Dominique's event to Seven's event. I'm so confusion.
I
I'm
am
gonna
too.
go with it was Seven's event because Seven
Whoever
influenced me
The
paid
out
the
the
buddy.
bills,
worst.
Right.
I paid
essentially.
for
So
the
basically, they planned a
administration.
party. Nobody paid, and
And
Hecadrama
if
popped
I
off.
threw a party,
Oh my God, here we go.
Invited everyone you knew.
you would see the
The
people,
biggest gift,
people who
the
and the crowd of that would say, "Thank you
Thank
for
you for
being a
being a
friend."
fan.
whoa. Mm.
Speaking of which, I had a great time at the Golden Girls Kitchen.
Listen,
I'm just
You said
saying.
you said the Golden Girls Kitchen.
Hmm.
in
Ah,
Florida, they got the Golden Girls
They
Kitchen.
had it down at Art Basel this weekend.
oh, okay.
Is it really called Art Basel?
Hmm.
Basil, right?
I thought it
It's
was
Basel.
Basil.
Is it
It's probably
No,
Basel?
it's
it's
probably
Okay.
Basel.
Basel. It probably is
It's
Basel.
Basel.
He
They
said
be
secure
real
You know
fancy
Americans
about
don't
it.
say nothing, right?
No,
so
they be real
seven
fancy
secured the
about it. They're like,
venue.
no, because they'll correct it. They'll say it's Art Basel.
It's Art
So
No, it's
Girl,
Basel.
it's
seven
not.
Basel.
secured
It's
the venue, but it was Dominique's event that Oliver put his name on. Is that what happened? Okay, y'all.
That sound about right.
Yeah.
That sound about right. That sounds just about right. So at the end, Seven thought it'd be the better part of Valor to just excuse herself from the show for the rest of the season. I don't know how long that's going
I
to
don't
last.
understand why she had to excuse herself from the show.
Because I do.
I'm also sick of them blaming everything on hormones.
Because if the I can't say that because I don't know what it's like being on those
I mean,
hormones. So
I
I
was gonna say
can't.
no, because roid rage isn't like a real thing, but I know
Yeah,
like
like
even with those
listen,
hormones,
I'm
like
not
it,
going.
not
I'm not
everybody's
going
built
to
to
say
handle
she
it. How
can't do
about
that.
that? Not
I
everybody's
can't
built
say
to
that.
handle it.
So, but what I will say is that if you're Judy, who you know that those are the only real people that's keeping you in the show, that fucks you over, girl, I ain't got this type of time. Mm-mm. Girl, I'm gone. Because I feel like she was barely holding on anyway. Because she tried to do that whole her and Willa thing. I never thought that was a thing because she showed her true colors with Willa, off the camera before the season started. So we already knew what that was. She was out here windmilling for Dominique and Troy basically threw her by the wayside and told her she wasn't shit. And and we know Dominique's probably gonna side with Troy. So she was like, "Girl, I ain't got this type of time. Let me go on about my business." I don't blame her. I would have did the same thing.
Mhm.
Mm.
But I feel like Troy and Seven both have the same issue where they feel like they're entitled to, they require stuff that they don't provide. Like you want this person to be such a good friend to you and there for you all the time and da 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 da. Da, but when it's time for you to reciprocate, you're
You
nowhere.
ain't got it.
You ain't got it. You deficient. You got insufficient funds for the
Mm.
transaction.
Mm.
So
Mm.
Insufficient funds. I be
Girl.
serious. Y'all be laughing and I be serious.
Why are you so goofy?
Ooh.
that's who
It's
she is
sufficient
as a
funds.
person. My
Who is
God.
Goofy? Who you
Girl.
call Goofy? You ain't even watch the show.
Well,
But you singing, you giving whole songs to praises
This
though.
is what I
because
do.
that's what she does. That's who she
This
So
is
is.
I'm gonna
what I
get. So you
do.
gonna sing them songs, and I'm gonna get my laughs in.
And we are kindred spirits in that way. You say the right word, it's absolutely going to trigger a suck in
Exactly.
your
This is a
phone.
jukebox right here.
And
And
I'm
I
Right
hit
going
it
to
here.
get my
all
laugh
the
in
time.
every time.
Ready? Press E7. See what happens.
There you
You know.
go.
Not
There you
E7.
go. That's it.
Oh, I can't.
My key of choice is E flat. Quietly.
Not
I bet it
E7.
is.
Not quietly.
All right. Well, I have to get ready to head over to my house because I'm late for my own live. How about that?
Wowzers. Okay, so is there any last thoughts
I don't know.
about
Why
this?
don't you tell us what else is left in your notes? Why
Oh
don't you read?
wow.
Why don't you read?
Ooh, woo.
Ma'am, you better
First
have
of
your notes
all,
next week when we're on your channel. I hope you have all your notes next week when we're on your channel, ma'am. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Because you're talking a
I'm gonna
lot
be
of
ready
noise.
next week because I'm off Tuesday, so I'm gonna watch it.
You better have all your notes next week, really, because you good for not
you
having no
better
notes
hope
too.
she invites you
Don't
to
act
That's a
like
the
lie.
situation,
That
sir.
is a lie.
I'm inviting myself. What you mean? I'm coming. What you mean?
Listen,
I
my
wait,
love
husband said,
wait.
y'all.
"Don't come for me."
When does drag race start? Because we got to do that panel too.
January the 5th.
Oh, I
My
got time.
husband said
No,
he done
whatever
took
happened to the
told
one
me
that was on
lately.
HBO?
Don't come for me. What?
The one that the drag show that was on HBO.
I
No,
never
that
watched
there
it.
wasn't a
You mean
drag.
we were? You mean
Oh, we're
we're
here.
here?
We're here.
Because
It's a drag.
that's how I got to know Tonka was from that show.
No, that's
Oh,
legendary.
legendary. That's
That's legendary. That
legendary.
was
Legendary,
a
yeah, that's the
ballroom
name.
show. That wasn't drag.
You're absolutely right. My bad.
That
Yeah.
was what, season 2 of Legendary?
Yeah, because it was
I
only
think so.
three
Yeah,
seasons.
I think it was season
Season 2.
3, if I'm not mistaken.
It was season
I was
3?
Maybe it
tuned,
was
and
season
regardless, I
three.
was
It
So,
might have been
tuned
season
you
in.
three.
said the season is 19 episodes long. So we got 10 more. No, that's a
Wait,
lie.
what's 19 episodes long?
Ain't no damn
I
19
don't think it's 19.
episodes.
I don't think it's 19. And the only reason why I say that is because I know when the reunion is. And that mean they wouldn't film the reunion when they're gonna film it if we still had 10 more weeks of episodes. I don't think that's accurate. I don't know that to be a fact. But I know when the reunion is being filmed, and I just don't think that that's accurate.
Yeah.
This
Okay.
song
So if
is
that's all of our final thoughts, Thank y'all, all 30 of y'all, for hanging out. Thank you for the super chats, any cash apps that anybody felt led to send me, which I don't think you did, but amen. Anyway,
Well, people could catch it in the replay and they might feel it in their spirit.
they
Yes.
might feel it, and it's $ every reviews. If you feel need to tip your hostess after the abuse heaped upon her by her siblings because she
Abuse. Frank, you're dramatic.
and
It's
having
okay.
to
We
deal
love
with this
you.
nigga under me who talked all that shit earlier and still didn't watch the fucking episode like I
It's not.
told his silly ass to do. Now I'm gonna cuss you out when we get off here. Don't even worry about it.
I was
If
being.
all hearts and minds are clear, now who is able to keep me from whooping a heifer's ass? Amen. May the Lord watch until we come together again this time next week. We'll see y'all later for something.
Bye,
Amen.
beautiful black people.
Amen.
Bye.